It's Metal Church right here on the Classic Metal Show from their Blessing in Disguise release. That is The Badlands. That one goes out to our own Kendall Peters in the chat room. And speaking of Kendall, she does a show Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. And she uses the Classic Metal Show chat room. So if you want to join her show, she does all requests.
You're going to have to start charging her rent.
Yeah.
She can't do that for free.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, pal.
So, yeah, join us Wednesday nights. I pop in there, and a lot of great requests, and she does a good job.
Yeah, I pop in. I listen more than I pop in.
Right.
I'm surprised you actually get in the chat room when it's not us being on.
You know what? I get on my laptop, so it's real easy, because usually I'm, like, downstairs in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll listen, but I don't want to deal with these fucking people.
Yeah, I'm not big on chatting so much. I just kind of glance in there and see what's going on. But yeah, if you want to listen to some great tunes and get some requests in there, she plays pretty much anything you want to hear.
Sure.
For 2 hours. So Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Uncontrolled Noise, Classic Metal Show chat room.
There you go. Get on it.
Yeah, jump in.
Yep.
All right. I got two stories here that will enrage you.
All right.
Maybe it'll enrage you.
Okay.
I'll start with the short story first and then get into the second one here.
Okay.
Now, this isn't something that we weren't aware of already. Are you familiar with the term soy boy?
Yes.
Are you familiar where that term came from?
I don't know where. I just know that it's, it's basically a reference to these swishy millennials that are soft and...
Yeah. Well, apparently because of this, I don't know what you want to call it, this new way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's into these... What do you want to call it? Healthy? I don't even know if we want to call it healthy lifestyle so much as, everything that you do is wrong. Anything from environmental causes to eating meat to, anything that's a traditional thing. This new generation kind of rejects everything because everything is bad.
Yeah, of course.
So instead of consuming dairy products, they consume soy milk.
Yeah. Have at it.
Well, the thing is, the soy products have been proven to lower testosterone rates in men, causing them to be more female-like.
Feminine.
Very feminine, yeah.
Right.
Therefore, soy boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well... Here's a little proof of what's going on here with the soy boys.
Okay.
Millennial men are ditching traditional masculine values and more likely to embrace emotional strength.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So everything we hate about chicks, these guys want to be chicks.
Yeah, of course they do.
Because they want to think with their feelings.
Good. Good for them.
As the famous Village People song declares, every man wants to be a macho man, to have the kind of body always in demand, but are macho mindsets becoming a thing of the past?
Apparently so.
A new study finds that male millennials are drifting away from the stereotypical masculine values.
Pathetic.
The research led by the University of British Columbia showed that younger men tend to value selflessness, social engagement, and health over traditional male ideals like physical strength and autonomy.
Well, that's nice. It's very sweet.
Of course, physique and independence will still were still prominent values for the 630 Canadian men aged 15 to 29 who took part in a survey, just not as important to participants participants as selflessness. In fact, the selflessness was by far the top-rated male value.
Selflessness.
Selflessness, yes, correct.
Meaning what exactly?
Well, being more like a woman, being more nurturing and more caring and more giving and more, female-like.
So they don't have self-worth. Their self-worth comes from what they can give versus what they can achieve.
Correct. Or how other people view them, or in a collective community.
Oh boy.
They're because you know how women in general, their validation comes from how much connection they make with their girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what these guys are doing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're becoming chicks with dicks.
Have at it.
Yeah. 9 in 10 respondents said that the men should help each other, and 88% of the respondents agreed that men should be open to new ideas, new people, and new experiences. 8 in 10 felt it imperative that a man gives back to his community. Young Canadian men seem to be holding masculine values that are distinctly different from those of previous generations. Those values may run counter to long-standing claims that young men are typically hedonistic, hyper-competitive, and that they risk or neglect their health. Notes lead author John O'Leaf, nursing professor and head of the men's health program at the UBC, in a news release.
So this is a Canadian study?
Yeah, this was conducted in Canada. Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that what are the American men? Are they more faggy or less faggy than the Canadian men?
I don't know the answer, but being that they're in such close proximity, I can't imagine it being a stark contrast.
So it's equal faggotry?
I'm thinking so.
Okay.
Maintaining tip-top health was also important to the vast majority of men, but that didn't mean having chiseled abs and 24-inch biceps or pythons, as Hulk Hogan would often say. 3/4 of the participants did feel that physical strength was important, but that finding was still notably less than the 87% who agreed a man should embody intellectual strength, or the 83% who viewed emotional strength as highly important. Similarly, only 78% of the men listed autonomy as a defining male characteristic.
Say that one more time.
Similarly, only 78% of men listed autonomy as a defining male characteristic.
You think that's just because they don't know what the word autonomy means?
Well, I think they don't know how to be independent.
Right.
They don't.
I know.
It's all this group think and group share, and
How is I would love to ask the people that feel this way how they plan on succeeding in life. Do they not think about their entire life and succeeding?
Well, they look at their success as relying on somebody or something else, like a socialist government.
I can't even think that way.
Well, I can't either, but you and I were brought up in a different era.
I can't even think about relying on a business to give me a salary. That seems foreign to me. Not being able to earn for myself seems foreign to me.
Well, look at Crazy Eyes Cortez over there in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, she calls herself a democratic socialist, but yet we want free school, we want free tuition, we want free health care, we want this, we want that, but she never explains who's going to pay for all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they don't see the bill.
No.
It all just sounds like immaturity to me.
Well, it is, and it's not realistic thinking. I mean, but look at the other countries, the socialist countries like Venezuela, and they failed.
Yeah, they all fail.
They all fail. But these are people who are dependent on to be given everything that they have.
Right.
These guys don't desire achievement or to go out and be wealthy or anything. They just want to live the status quo.
Yeah, I guess. I just can't imagine. Even when I made no money, I always wanted to make more money.
Of course.
And even now, when I make money, I still want to make more money. I could never say I'm content. You know, even if it's not money. Like I could never, I don't think I could ever say, well, I'm going to lay around for 6 months and not do anything and let somebody else take care of me.
Right.
I can't even fathom how that would work in my own head. I would sit around for 2 fucking days and I'd be right back to doing shit. You know, I'd be right back to, well, maybe I could just do a little of this or a little of that. I'd be trying to find something to do.
Right. Well, but that's how you were brought up, and that's in your nature. But, you know, we're slowly but surely weaning the newer, you know, the younger generation away from those values. It's just like, well, you know, being an achiever isn't, you know, that's it's the whole participation trophy. Well, I didn't achieve a win, but I got a trophy for participating.
I showed up,
you know, and I was part of the collective group, and, you know, I should deserve something for that.
But do they not see that the whole goddamn everything is going to cave in on them because if there's not somebody doing it?
No, because we've lived in such a great twilight. Things have progressed so well that we're such a wealthy nation, or wealthy nation, since this is Canada, that it doesn't even occur to them that what came before today or how we even got here was through hard work and achievement and, you know, attaining wealth and all these other things. Everything is just free now.
I'm glad I'm going to be dead.
Free music, free internet, free, you know, hotspots, free, you know, health care, free whatever.
It's just pathetic to me. I can't believe that we live in a time where we think that almost everyone is pathetic.
Yep.
Everyone. You know, dude, anybody 30 and down, I question now.
You have to.
You have to. I mean, and you know what the saddest part about the whole thing is, honestly? It's not these losers that are fucking, you know, destining themselves to be losers for the next 50 years. It's the people that are trying, that are their age, that we simply don't trust. You know, I mean, dude, think about it. You said you were at the tire place today, right?
Yeah.
If there was a kid that was clearly 19 years old working there, you wouldn't trust him as far as you could fucking throw him. True or not?
Yeah, there might be a little bit of doubt in there, sure.
Because he's a young kid, and you wouldn't think, because his generation is so fucking fucked, you would think that he probably did a slack-ass job. Versus if you saw some grizzly 50-year-old that's been working in the garage for 35 years, you wouldn't even think twice about the fact that your tire's going to stay on.
Right.
You know, that is sad. That literally, not that the people that are like legitimate people that, you know, will legitimately try to succeed are being overshadowed by these faggots that just have such a bitch complex about them.
Right.
Apparently from drinking soy milk, as this article is proving.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking sad.
I agree.
Sorry, Scribble, but you fall in that category, my friend. If I saw you working at a fucking store, I would question you if I didn't know you. I would. I hate to admit it, but I would. Wouldn't you? Honestly, if you didn't know Scribble and you went into, I don't know, Midas, and he'd said, well, this is what you need, would you believe him?
Yeah, you well, show me.
Yeah. Or would you say, where's your boss? Where's your boss to make sure that this is right? I would.
Yeah.
I would. I don't think I would let a young person, if I went, and I know I'm only using a garage as an example, but if I was getting my house re-roofed Okay, that's how much does that cost? $5,000-$6,000, something like that.
$5 or $6,000, sure.
Okay, if I had somebody go and estimate my roof, and they said, well, you need to get your house redone, and it's going to be $6,000, and we need to do this, and this, and the guy was 19, you would absolutely question it or say, I want to get a second appraisal.
Right.
If the guy was 50, you'd sign the fucking paper.
Probably.
Yeah. And that's just the way it is these days. It's just that way. This generation, there's zero trust in it. Zero. And our parents didn't trust us either when we were young, but I think we gained it by the time we were like 25, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we'd proven it. We were still making shit money, but we had at least proven that we'll go to work every day.
Exactly. We'll
learn, and we'll do our shit as best we could. I mean, even jobs I hated, I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the worst job you ever had?
Probably driving the cab.
Okay, and you were the guy that was fucking 12 hours on the drive and then another hour fucking cleaning the fucker every day.
Yep.
Every day you were cleaning that fucking car.
Yep. Vacuum, clean it out, clean up the windows. Yep.
Yeah. And then you would call me and tell me how much you fucking hated your life.
But I did it.
But you did it every day.
Yep.
I mean, you didn't slack ass like probably like most of the cab drivers. You were raised to do your best, to be the best. And probably in that cab company, you were the best cab driver.
I was.
Yeah. Probably made the most money and probably, took the most runs and would take any run that was offered and never turn it away. I mean, it's amazing what we're turning into now.
Yep.
Just a fucking disaster.
Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, guys, it's Lou one more time, man. You hit another hot topic with me. And we were talking about...
You're not talking about the trendy store in the mall, right?
Exactly. Who the fuck shops there? I mean, don't even get me started on that. That's whole nother topic. But, okay, you're talking, how these millennials and these soy boys, or if you want to call them boys, I mean, that's a stretch, but everything's free. That hole with a bag of meat around it, Cortez again, to bring her up. We're going to have free school. We're going to have free health care, free this, free that. And you ask, how are we going to pay for all this? Their solution is simple. We're going to tax the rich and we're going to tax all the corporations. But what these idiots, these dingbats don't realize is you tax all the businesses and industries out of business, and then you take all the money, you tax and take all the money from rich people. Then what do? You can't keep taxing rich people when you take everything they got from them. You can't tax industries and businesses when you tax them out of business.
Mm-hmm. Or if it doesn't even, and the thing is, and I'll speak on this because I own businesses, it doesn't have to be that the money is the problem. If it becomes a hassle, or if you feel like you're doing more than your share, you might just not want to do it anymore. You might just say, fuck this. Why should I work 3 times as hard as the next 10 guys? For what?
The government.
Yeah, for what purpose?
And then another thing for the money is, like, these socialists, they hate the military. So basically it's to strip the military down to where we have nothing but pea shooters to defend ourselves. And, again, that Cortez, she says, well, can you believe we spent billions of dollars on jets for the Air Force? The Air Force didn't even ask for these jets. Yeah, we gave them new jets. This is the future of America. I'm like you guys. I'm ready to dig my own damn grave and start filling it in myself.
Just take a permanent dirt nap.
Yes. I used to fear dying. But the older I get, oh my God, when I see the light, man, I am running full sprint to it. Fuck this shit going on here in the earth. But that's all I got. That's what I have to say about that. Hail and kill. Fuck you, pal, and Doover.
Wow, you resurrected Doover.
A Doover call out.
All
nice.
right. Yep, we're in trouble.
Yep.
All right, to finish this up, as a millennial myself, I can see these values reflected in their lives of men around me. Says study co-author Nick Black, managing partner of Intentions Consulting, a research firm that helped carry out the survey. They want to be both caring and strong, both open to others and self-sufficient, and they see no contradiction in these values. The researchers believe millennial men are widening their value structure and questioning what it truly means to be masculine.
Do you think that they'll even out, though? And I'm questioning. I don't know. I mean, because look, you aside, because you were always raised to be a grown-up, and from the time you were fucking 12, you were more of a grown-up than I'll ever be now. But, you know, I mean, I was an ass clown. I was an absolute fucking idiot. And I turned out all right. I mean, I ended up building some businesses and being productive. I'm still wild, but I got productive. Do you think that this generation will at some point, once they start dealing with some real bills and some real hardship and, you know, a chick or two that dies on them and a dead parent and whatnot, that, you know, the wear of life will grizzle them into, you know, what we consider to be normal?
Well, my only concern here is, you know, the sovereignty of this nation, you know, the lack of, what do you want to call, spirit to defend our borders.
Yeah.
Because if we have nothing but weak men, and men obviously are traditionally the ones who have defended this country, and have gone to war and all these other things. If somebody decide to come in here and try to take over, are these guys are just going to roll over and go, well, you know, I don't want to really rock the boat here, so if you guys want to take over, you know, just make sure, you know, I have a place to live.
Oh, well, that's going to happen, dude. It is an impossibility that America stays the baddest badass in the world. That is an impossibility. You know what? What do they say? Everything comes to an end.
Yeah, well, Rome came to an end, and they were the dominant force in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen that we're not the biggest badass in the world anymore, and it's gonna happen because. Not because there aren't guys that'll go out and do the job, but because of the way that the job is having to be enforced. You know, that they can't just go out and be fucking murderous, the murderous prick that you got to be to win in a war. You can't just go and slay people anymore. You can't go all Vietnam and be cutting people's ears off and shit like that anymore. You can't go all savage. I know you're laughing, but dude, you need savagery in war. And we're not, you know, I've talked to some of my friends that are just now retiring from the military after 25, 30 years of military service. And they all tell me that it's totally different now. That even in the military, they have to play these fucking bullshit games about gender and identity and shit. And you know what? A bullet doesn't recognize you as a fucking male or female. It recognizes you as alive or dead.
Right.
And that's it. But by the military is hamstrung into that. Guess what? Other militaries, they don't give a fuck. Other combatants, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They will use this weakness as a way to win. And they will win. It's inevitable. And that all started when they started embedding fucking, you know, CNN and whatever in Gulf War I. You know, they hamstrung us from taking that fucking war. What did it take us, 7 weeks or whatever? That shit should have been done in 7 days, except for we had to be careful what we showed on tape.
Right.
You know, I mean, and it just got worse from there. Look at how bad Iraq went. You know, it's a steady stream that has gotten worse and worse. And we're going to, eventually, the Chinese are going to fucking mow us over. That's who it's going to be, because they don't, they're still killing babies because they're born with a pussy. So, they don't want to hear about fucking equality. The only thing they want to hear is do what you're fucking told or you die.
Right.
And you know what? With that mentality, they'll come either that or, a bunch of people don't want to hear it. It'll be a fucking, not a nation, but a culture. It'll be the fucking Muslims.
Yeah.
Because there's billions of them and they're willing to die for their cause. And certainly none of these Fruit Loops that we're raising are willing to die for any cause.
Right.
And it's sad, man. It's funny. I was out today for a little bit and I ran into about 6 or 7 military guys they were in the Sheets, and I was in Sheets today. And so I was talking to them, about where they're stationed at or whatnot, and and these, for as much as we talk shit about these young kids, these were some proud men that I talked to today, and they're men, man. They're 24 years old, but they're fucking men. They still have I guess when you get into the service, you have at least somewhat of that fucking identity.
Yep.
And they were very proud to be service members, and they were very proud that I recognized them. They were in uniform, but recognized them as
their contribution.
Yeah. And I did. I was talking to him, and it was a very, very cool conversation of fucking veteran to the next generation of veteran kind of a thing. And it was only for like a couple minutes. I just was shooting the shit with them, because we were standing in line waiting to pay. And so there are some that have those values. The problem is there's too few. There's too few of them. I would feel awful for these guys if they had to go in against a fully armed, full-on invasion from China. They wouldn't know what to fucking do.
Right.
Because there'd be so many more of them than there are so many more of the Chinese or so many more of the Muslim Islamic people than there are of troops that are willing to stand for the country. Hell, we can't even get these fucking jizzballs to stand up at a fucking football game.
True.
For a minute and a half. You think they're going to stand up to bullets? They're going to, okay. Praise to Allah. Which way do I bow?
Right.
They have. I honestly would love to ask any one of these fucking people that puts their emotions over this or that what they would be willing to die for. Would they be willing to take a bullet to stand by their religion, to stand by their family, to stand by their personal beliefs? What would they truly be willing to die for? And I honestly believe that the answer is nothing. Do you think that the people in this survey that are trying to be emotionally strong, and do you think that they really could be that emotionally strong?
No.
To where, just take yourself as an example. What would you stand up for and absolutely say, if I die, I die? Name one scenario. It shouldn't be that hard, is it?
No. Any of my family members or any of my close friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It should be simple. Anybody should be every man, and I know this is I know it's a horrible stereotype to say that a man should have a man's values, but any man that has any semblance of family alive, whether it's their mother or their children or whatever, if you can't say and honestly believe that you would stand in front of a bullet, if somebody came in your house and said, I'll let your kid live if you fucking let me carve you up 1 inch at a time, and they wouldn't take the knife, then they're fucking pathetic. They're fucking pathetic. And sadly, that's just what we're raising these days. People that are they say that they're emotional and they want to be emotionally strong and all that, but they're not. The fact that they're having to spell that out proves that they don't have emotional strength, that they're not strong enough. Because if you have emotional strength, you don't have to go around telling people. People sort of know. Don't you think?
Well, I believe that's the case, but I think when they're saying emotional strength, that they're less prone to make decisions on rationale, but more with feeling.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's.
And I think that's what that's really trying to say, is that instead of making just rational, logical decisions regardless of your feelings,
Yeah.
they'll make decisions based on their feelings, like a chick.
Yeah, exactly. Don't scare me. I'll do what you want.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Don't scare me. I'll do what you want. Just poor.
Mm-hmm.